Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the second public hearing now for the 2024 fifth annual plan review. And we have another meeting this evening at 6 p.m. But we certainly welcome all of you here, and we're going to present first what we're planning to do, although we don't know for sure exactly how much we're getting. So hopefully we'll find that out at some point in the not too distant future. But with that being said, we're going to get started, and I'll turn it over to Deborah Smith. Deborah.
Thank you, Mayor. Good morning, everyone. My name is Deborah Smith. I'm the Director of the Department of Economic and Community Development. Today I have staff with me, Veronica Fields, who is the Grant Administrator, and Shateria Franklin, who is out in the audience ensuring that everyone is signing in. Shateria is the Assistant Grant Administrator. Today we will discuss the process for our fiscal year 2024 proposed annual plan and the proposed activities for fiscal year 2024. The five-year consolidated plan was developed in 2020. The consolidated plan is effective from 2020 to 2024. This is actually our last year in our five-year consolidated plan. We will be preparing a new consolidated plan for 2025. We'll start the process in the fall. So the consolidated plan with the annual plan, we update this each year to ensure that we're still meeting the needs of the community. For the fiscal year 2024 plan, applications were available from December 1st, 2023 to January 26, 2024. There were presentations that were conducted the week of February 9th to February 5th to February 9th, 2024. As the mayor mentioned, today is our second public hearing. There'll also be another hearing today at 6 p.m. with the same information. Today, we'd like to hear from you on what housing and community development needs that you feel are important for the Community Development Block Grant, the Home Investment Partnership, and the Emergency Solutions. Also, we'd like feedback on any of the proposed projects that we have listed for funding. So, on about May 13th, 2024, the city of Erie will be on schedule to submit its fiscal year 2024 annual plan. This is if we have received our notification from HUD on our actual allocation. As I mentioned, all funding activities listed in the packet are proposed because we do not know what we're going to get as far as what our funding allocation is. And if we don't have our funding allocation by May 13, 2024, our plan will not go in until we get approval from HUD to submit it. So for the fiscal year 2024 annual plan and the five-year consolidated plan, when the five-year consolidated plan was done, the following 6 priorities and subsequent goals and strategies were identified by the City of Erie for the period of 2020 through 2024 for the Community Development Block Grant Program, home investment, CDBG, and emergency solutions. And the first housing priority is housing priority, There's a need to improve the quality of the housing stock in the community by increasing the amount of decent, safe, sound, and accessible housing for homeowners, renters, and home buyers that is affordable to low and moderate income persons. And the goals and the strategies are housing rehabilitation, rental rehabilitation, housing construction, fair housing, home ownership, public housing. Please note for our the housing goals for housing that the majority of the funds that we use are our home investment partnership funding. B was homeless priority. There's a need for housing and supportive services for homeless persons and persons who are at risk of becoming homeless. And the goals and strategies are continuum of care, operational and support, prevention and housing, and permanent housing. C was other special needs. There's a continual need for affordable housing services and facilities for persons with special needs and the disabled. And the goals and strategies are housing, social services, accessibility. D was community development priority. There's a need to improve the public and community facilities, infrastructure, public services, and the quality of life for all residents in the community. And the goals and strategies are community facilities, infrastructure, public services, accessibility, public safety, code enforcement, clearance, revitalization, historical preservation. E is economic development priority. There's a need to increase employment, self-sufficiency, education, job training, technical assistance, and economic empowerment of low and moderate income residents in the community. And the goals and strategies are employment, financial assistance, the redevelopment program, financial incentives. F is administrative, planning, and management. There's a continual need for planning, administration, management, and oversight of federal, state, and local funded programs. So this year for our proposed funding amounts, we are actually using our fiscal year 2023 allocations, which are $3,040,237. That is Community Development Block Grant. For Home Investment Partnership, $933,497. Emergency Solutions, $273,428. And our uses for these proposed numbers that will probably change because we do not know what our allocation is. If you turn to your packet, I believe it's on page 13, we have public services listed, and we have allocated $728,900. DCED is permitted to take 20.96% for public services, or $778,960. This category right here is restricted to only a certain amount of funding. City of Erie Housing Rehab, we have allocated $174,977.39. For public facilities improvement, $818,931.61. For special economic development, $114,381,000. For economic development, $600,000. For general administration, $608,047. And so the total fiscal year 2024 funds for projected activities is $3,045,237, which includes $5,000 of projected program income. On page 14, we have a list of Home Investment Partnership Program, which lists our housing programs for the fiscal year 2024. We have rental rehab, $286,026. We have first-time home buyer, $277,061. We have home owner rehab, $277,061. And administration, $93,349. For our emergency solutions, which is on page 15, which lists the emergency shelters as well as transitional living. For our shelter operations, we have proposed $141,384. For transitional living, $25,100. We have rapid rehousing rental assistance, which is $88,864. And for administration, we have $20,507. And the formula for the emergency solutions is actually based on actual number of bed nights that each shelter uses, that they have actual people that stay at the shelter, and it's multiplied by the number of the total beds that are listed. I will now turn it over to Veronica Fields, who will give you the schedule for preparation, adoption, and submission of the proposed 2024 fifth annual plan.
Thank you, Deborah. Good morning, everyone. Public hearing schedule of events. Notice was published on March 27, 2024, announcing the second public hearing, needs and input hearing, which is being held today, April 15, 2024, beginning at 10 a.m. and 6 p.m. Citizens will be provided an opportunity to present their views on housing and non-housing community development needs and to comment on the priorities and level of funding assigned by the City of Erie and addressing the needs as contained in the HUD 5-year consolidated plan. Critical dates. December 1st, 2023 to January 26, 2024. Solicitation of proposals, applications available beginning December 1st, 2023. January 26, 2024, applications are due. January 31st through February 9th, 2024, review of applications. February 5th through February 9th and February 9th, 2024, presentation for CDBG and home projects. February 16th, 2024, published notice for first public hearing. March the 4th, 2024, first public hearing, citizen input hearings at 10 a.m. and 6 p.m. March 19th and the 21st, study session with City Council. March 27, 2024, published 5th annual plan, projected use of funds, advertised for required 30-day public comment period, ending April 26, 2024. Second public hearing date will be advertised for April 15, 2024. April 5, 2024, published notice for second public hearing. April 15, 2024, second public hearing, citizen input, hearings at 10 a.m. and 6 p.m. May 1st, 2024, or May 15th, 2024, council authorization to submit 5th annual plan to HUD if allocations are known. May 13th, 2024, 5th annual plan submitted to HUD for required 45-day review period, ending June 30th, 2024. June 5th and 19th, 2024, council appropriate. I'm having a rough day, y'all, sorry. Council appropriation and authorization to enter into contract with subrecipients. July 1st, 2024, program year begins. Thank you.
Thank you, Veronica. As I mentioned before, all the proposed activities that are listed are proposed. So at this time, if you would like to give public comments, these are the ground rules. We'd like you to come forward, make any comments. We ask that you come to the podium, state your name, your agency name, and you will give them 5 minutes to make public comment. We will not be responding to any comment. Thank you. You can come now if you like.
Good morning. My name is Jay Kelton. I'm the director with the Erie County Reentry Program, and we spoke before. This really does not directly pertain to what's going on today, but it does in different ways. When we talk about economic development and housing, our people in our program, they'll go to housing, and they'll be looking for a couple of pay stubs and so forth. So everything comes back to where people are working. And I just want to bring it to attention that there are some companies, some large companies here, who work on the auspice of they are going to help the community, and they're using a negligent hiring clause, which means anyone with a felony or misdemeanors they can deny, and they are denying them. The problem with that is that clause is not for employment. That is for an employee to come back at a company that may have hired a nurse and never checked to see if they really had a license. But if that clause continues and it gains traction with a lot of the companies here in Erie, a lot of people who have an old felony or an old misdemeanor may not be able to get a job because they're using that clause to deny them. They don't even look at them. We've had people who go to the interviews, they are actually scheduled to beginning work the next week, and they say, oh, well, you've got a felony, you're out. So I want to say that for economic development, that should be something that is asked of every business. Are you using this clause? And if so, how are you using it in that way? I know it really doesn't have a lot to do with what we're talking about today, but it's important. So the negligent hiring clause is something I think that should really be looked at so it does not gain too much traction in bigger companies. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Good morning. Excuse me. I'm Anna Franz with our West Bayfront. Thank you for the opportunity to comment on this year's action plan. As you all know, a focus of our work in the Our West Bayfront is transforming vacant, often blighted properties into safe, quality, affordable housing and providing people with decent places to live while also stabilizing the West Bayfront neighborhoods and as a result increasing the city's tax base. We appreciate that the alignment of our work is with the goals of the 2024 action plan, and that there's inclusion right now in the draft plan, the home-funded project that we proposed, which is the renovation of a property on Downing Court, which we anticipate acquiring from the city's land bank. This project will help to create much-needed affordable housing, and it aligns with the goals in the plan of housing rehab and also rental rehab. The home funds will be a critical resource to renovating this home and making it available for future low-income tenants. I'd also mention that our West Bayfront was very pleased to be designated a CHODO, Community Housing Development Organization, by the city this past year. This is a designation that's created under the HUD Home Guidelines and recognizes the role that community-based organizations like ours plays in providing affordable housing in the neighborhoods that we serve. We really appreciate the partnership and the support of the city administration, the mayor, Ms. Smith, and your office, and working with us through that process. As you know, the HUD regs allow for the city to provide a small amount of home funds to support CHODO operating expenses in connection with home-funded activities. And the intent, we think, of the HUD regulations is to support these types of organizations so we can do the kind of work that we do. We hope that our request for a small amount of CHODO operating support, which isn't currently in the plan, will be included as you proceed with this planning process, and that it will be included in the final version that goes forward once the budget is finalized. And we're happy to provide any information that might be necessary to make that happen. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
Good morning.
Good morning.
First of all, thank you for the opportunity to come speak in front of you today. Today, I'm not just going to represent the Booker T. Washington Center. I'm going to represent the community centers in a whole. Hopefully they don't mind, but I think it's important. First of all, if you know in today's times and what we're dealing with our youth, I think it's very important that you invest in our youth. And the importance of that is that the youth is our future. And without these particular fundings, it would make it very difficult for our youth today. We are on the front lines every day dealing with the youth and making sure they have a safe place to come and participate in programs and services. And not only that, but also helping the families of these particular youth. So it is very important that you continue to fund these particular programs. Also like to say thank you for all of the past investment that you have given to our organizations, but I think it's imperative that we look to find more ways to generate revenues and work closely with us. One of the things that I think that we're missing the boat on is not just CDBG funding, but just an opportunity to work with the city to look for additional funding and try to write particular grants as a collaborative. And I think we should kind of take a look at that because funds are getting tight, and we understand the city has a lot of other things that they have to do in order to keep the city moving. But we have to find ways to invest in our youth. And one of those ways is we have to think about other opportunities as a collaborative, meaning the city and all of the other community centers coming together to find opportunities to go after other additional funding so we can leverage all of our funding in a collaborative way. So once again, we thank you for all of the opportunities that you've given us, all of the funds that you've given us, but I just realized that we need more. These are trying times for our community and trying times for the youth in the city of Erie, and it would behoove us as a city and as organizations not to work together. So thank you once again for the opportunity to speak in front of you, and hopefully we can continue to move the city forward. Thank you.
Thank you, Chantel. That was Chantel Hilliard, just in case anybody here doesn't know who it, I think most of you probably know him, but thank you, Chantel. Anybody else want to speak? Okay, we're ready for the next step. which is my closing comments. Okay. Well, I do want to thank you all for being here today. I really appreciate the work you're all doing. We're trying to help obviously as much as we can, because it's important to transform Erie over time. We've got to be working with the youth and move them along. And I'm really proud of what all of you are doing, but also proud of what the city is doing in this area. So thank you very much for being here today. And I believe we will close it with that. Again, thanks for being here. Maybe we'll see you at 6 tonight. You don't have to come, though.